Hello, delay aficionados. We are having on the table the Avalanche Run, is what I would say if I had a really bad German accent, which some people say I have, but those people can fuck off. So, without further ado, we're looking at the Avalanche Run. And there it is, and Leslie put it there because she's awesome. She's up there, in case you're wondering who Leslie is. Or where she is. There's the Avalanche Run. What the crap is it? Earthquaker Devices has an amazing delay called the Dispatch Master. And I had the little version on the table. It's kind of ambient-y, reverb, telephony kind of on it, and has reverb. It's great delay. So this is kind of the evolution of the Dispatch Master. Now, it is beautiful for ambient stuff. It is, however, not the wishy-washy kind of analog style. I just did a review of the Caverns from Keeley, which has an analog style delay and reverb. So technically the Avalanche Run is just that. It's a delay and a reverb, just like the Ethereal from Wampler. It has a couple of sleeves up its ace. Couple of things up the, when you have a, So, compared to those other delays. In this case, it is tap, which I think most of, or all of the other delay reverb combinations don't have. And when you have an analog style delay, you don't necessarily need that because you want the wishy-washiness. If you have more digital sounding ones, then Subdivision is cool because you can do really cool rhythmic things, which I wouldn't necessarily do with an analog style delay. Now, that's very cool. However, the subdivisions here are, why did they do that? 1/1, so a whole, and 3/4, and 2/3, and half, and a third, and a quarter. So when I see a quarter, I think quarter note. But no, half is, whole, 1/1, is what you're tapping. So that's that. 3/4 is actually dotted eighth. 2/3 is a quarter note triplet. Half is eighth notes. Thirds would be triplets, I think. Yeah. And then quarter is 16th notes. Why? Why don't they just give us the actual freaking note values? Wouldn't that be easy? Because I have my manual here, which I'm gonna have to consult, and it says right here, if you can see right here, get close, Leslie. Oh, right around here. It gives you the different values. I mean, kind of why? So, yeah, that's what this does. And I like to be on the 3/4 because it's dotted eighth. We have an expression pedal input on the left. If Leslie can show the side camera. Oh, she can. She's prepared. So right there, expression pedal input. I don't have it plugged in yet, so we're going to check it out without that first. And of course, with expression, you can control, what can you control? We can control the decay of the reverb. So reverb size, reverb mix. I'm going to go over here. Time, which is fun. Repeats, of course, makes sense. Delay mix, or the toggle, which means you can switch delay mode with the expression pedal. So other than that, we have a standard time, repeats, and tone for the delay and the mix. And for the reverb, we have nothing more than decay and mix. That's it. So no different reverb modes. We have different delay modes, which are namely normal, which to me sounds like a digital delay, and that's beautiful. We have reversed, which is a reversed digital delay, and swell, which kind of get you the auto swell sounds that you would usually have when you're using a volume pedal, which I also have on the floor. And I have a source audio expression pedal on the floor. They said they tested it with Moog pedals. They can't guarantee anything else. Well, the source audio works beautifully. In the box is also a power supply. Because, hold on to your frickin' seats, the pedal needs 480 milliamps. So before people bitch about that, they included a power supply in the box, which is very nice. And at €375, which is what this thing is, it's something that you should expect if the pedal needs 480 milliamps. On the other hand, why does it need 480 milliamps? Doesn't that make it kind of incompatible with most pedalboard solutions? Because really, which power supply, pedalboard mounted power supply, has 480 milliamp outputs? If they have 250, you're lucky. If they have 350, like the Friedman pedalboard, the Friedman Power Grid, that's quite a bit. 480, only the Yankee has that. I know that. And the Strymon Zoomer, which I have on the table. Each output has 500, so I don't have a problem because I'm cool and I have a Strymon Zoomer. But that's not what I mean. You're cool too, okay. But be warned that you might have to use the included power supply and actually have an extra wall wart to run the Avalanche Run. Would have been nice if they had made it so that it can run on less milliamps. Just saying. So, love the graphics, love the sounds, which we're gonna check out now. Oh, inputs, outputs. Leslie, show the inputs, outputs. Side view, please. I'm confusing her. So, it has stereo in, stereo out, which you might have seen from the top. Now, that is a little bit confusing because all that it does is it routes stereo fully through, which is why I have the Strymon Mobius right here on the table, to show you stereo-ness, which it creates, and it is fully stereo going through the Avalanche Run. But what the Avalanche Run creates digitally is only mono, meaning the delays and the reverb are mono delays and reverbs, but it will let a stereo signal through. So we can say, boo-hoo, why isn't it stereo? Why don't I have ping-pong delays and that stuff? Which would have been nice. On the other hand, it at least lets stereo through. Thank you, Leslie. So the other thing that you can do, which is kind of cool, instead of going into the left in and then stereo out, you can go into the right in, and that will give you a kind of guitar signal with delay on it, and then only the wet on the other side. Could be something cool. I tried it. The wet signal by itself was a little bit quiet to be fully used stereo. But I'm gonna show it stereo with the Mobius because I already set up my setup before I realized that it's not creating stereo sounds. So let's show the far cam. There's my setup with the Orange Rocker 32, which is of course freaking brilliant, mic'd with two Sennheiser E609 going into my Universal Audio Apollo Twin. I actually drilled a hole in the table so I can, you see this? These cables actually disappear into the table because I'm never giving up this Twin, because that's awesome. Yeah, that's it. It's just the Rocker mic'd with those mics into the Twin, and that's pretty much it. Anything else? Oh, this thing, this whole thing right here. That's a Framus Pantera 2. Her name is Murple. There's Framus right there. Her name's Murple. We all know and love her. So, Leslie, that pedal is pretty big. What are we gonna do about it? Thank you. So, if you bitch about me talking so much, you could have skipped to this part right here, right from the beginning, because there was a timestamp. If you didn't take advantage of it, well, that's your problem. So, I'm gonna take the mix down, go to normal, and I'm gonna have my cheat sheet here because different modes have different functions on the knobs. All controls will blah blah blah. Yeah, okay. So here's my sound. Yes, you can get all wet without the actual guitar in it. Kind of cool if you want that. clearly a digital delay, which is cool, you know? If you want an analog one, get a different one. That rolls off the low end, kind of like a tape delay, kind of cool. That rolls off the high end, kind of like an analog delay, kind of cool. So in the middle you have the delays just as advertised. Repeats obviously will go into craziness. Now the cool thing is, if you hold down the tap foot switch, it will do this momentarily. The shorter the delays, the faster it will do this, just like any other delay pretty much. Pretty cool. So let me show you how you get super easy dotted eighth. You just do quarter notes here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and now you do 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and you go to 3/4, which is a dotted eighth. Would be nice, you know, if that was actually like a dotted eighth. So now if I play eighth notes, I have this. I've never tried this, but I don't know why I'm trying it in a video. But that works absolutely beautifully. Whatever. So dotted eighth works, that's the whole point. I can go to 16ths. So you could create a slapback or something if you wanted to. Stay on the dotted eighth. Now let's bring in some reverb, which is what we actually, let's bring the delay down. Doesn't color in any way, that's pretty good. It's a long, lush, beautiful reverb. Oh, that's cool. It's actually very big, and that's what she said. And then it doesn't last long. So it's a big reverb, but it doesn't, it's big, but it doesn't last long. Anyone? Anyone? Leslie? See, there is media player too, so if you pushed the downstream key 2. If you just push that, then that's what we would need. I will try this again. It's big, but it doesn't last long. Thank you! You see, you know where the button is, baby. So it feels like a really big one, but again, it doesn't last long. Cool! I like it! I'm gonna say if you like lush reverbs, that alone is kind of almost worth the price of admission. That is nice! Me likey. Of course, there's more. Let's combine the two. That of course would be a beautiful sound to use the volume pedal for. Let's try that just for some nice volume swells. Absolutely gorgeous. Now if I want to try this. If I turn on the Mobius, which I have on a stereo harmonic tremolo, well, in my hood, they call that pretty damn dope. So, wow, this is fun. Moving on to reverse, which means you have to flip over. Wait, go. I'm over here. I'm over here. I'm over. Thank you. I was gonna make a joke and you kind of, didn't get the camera on the joke. Okay, so. We're gonna go to reverse, for which I have to reverse the manual. So, reverse delay, normal reverb. Ratio is 1:1 in position, so no matter where this is right here, it's gonna be on the 1:1, unless you hold this down and then it goes to forward mode in wherever the ratio is. I can't do this because it's on the table. Blah blah blah, and that's it. So, I'm gonna give this a hell yeah. You could do really cool ambient stuff with this, as I have just shown you. And then there's the swell mode, where the mix, where the mix on the reverb is how long the swell takes. Isn't that just swell? I know, forced humor. Deal with it. Reverb is control the length of the swell. Swells are triggered by the input. And it turns the dry path to mono. So in swell, I wouldn't have. Well, we should try that. I wouldn't have my nice whoopoo 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 whoopoo. You know. And let's not try that. So here we go. You have to learn how to play with that because it's triggered by playing. So you gotta play, not play, play, not play, and it should do this. Okay, so if you want that violin thing, you can get that. You just have to stop playing at the end of the note and then attack again. And that's actually pretty doable. Not a problem whatsoever. See, if you don't stop playing, it does that. But just stop playing. But if you want it really long, then the note's kind of already gone when the swell came up, so it's tough to dial it in to those beautiful note swells. Let me try. It's not tough, it's right there, that's where it is. So with some tremolo, but it's probably not going to be stereo. With any auto swell, that can happen. If you don't re-trigger, but you stay on the same note, all of a sudden, bam, it's there, and you really didn't want that. It's an art to learn how to play the auto swell. So, it's there, and it's beautiful. I would still probably use a volume pedal just to have more control. But it's built in, and you can do it if you choose to. Again, I didn't hear the tremolo whatsoever. It was just gone. I don't know why. So, blah, 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 blah. Cool. I think we covered everything. I bitched about the milliamps. I bitched about the no note values on these. Oh, yeah, on the subdivision. But you can get trails by booting it up and having the ratio in certain modes, meaning if you have it on quarter, it's true bypass. If you have it on... there's a couple of different setups that you can do but when booting it up and having this in different positions. You can also... and you have to hold down the activate switch while you boot it on, and this is in a certain... So it's relatively easy if you have this. Now, we're gonna plug in the expression pedal, and I'm gonna change the decay of the reverb. Move this over here. Come on. Come on. So short. Long. Works like a charm. Reverb mix. Someone analyze A major to D minor for me. Because I don't know, but it sounds kind of cool. That's kind of cool. I'm mixing from I'm mixing from full reverb mix and no guitar down to no reverb and dry guitar, which is kind of a really cool effect. Kind of like a backwards effect, but controllable. Time is, of course, going to be fucked up. Completely, utterly unpredictable, and therefore fun. Repeats, of course, makes total sense. Delay mix, duh. And now I got the toggle. Why is it doing that? That's kind of cool, but that's not what it did before. I can't do it, because if I wanted not a lot of reverb on the reverse, but then I want slow swells on the swell setting, it would be this on reverse and this on swell, and I can't do that. Damn it! Because really, when you're on the swell setting, this has no swell effect whatsoever. So, being able to toggle with the expression, I don't know, maybe if you're completely crazy. So, let's unplug the expression pedal. Avalanche Run by Earthquake Devices. Now we've looked at it for about 7 hours, unless he really wants to go home. What do I think? I think it's blue. That's what I think. There are several pedals on the market that do delay and reverb mix. There's the Yodeler that I know of from VFE, the Ethereal from Wampler, which it's not tappable, but I think it's got 2 delay lines and reverb. Then there's the Caverns from Keeley, which again has different reverb modes, which are weird but cool, and it has an analog style delay. So it's not the Avalanche Run, it's analog style, whereas this is digital. None of the others are tappable. I know the Ethereal has subdivisions, but that's subdivisions between delay 1 and 2, as far as my friend told me, because I don't have an Ethereal, so I don't know. And so this is delay reverb combination that's tappable with subdivisions, although the subdivisions could be labeled in a musical way and not mathematically. That's kind of asinine if you ask me. Also, this has different delay modes. It doesn't have analog or whatever modes, but the reverse definitely shows you they want you to experiment and create soundscapes. The Swell is usable, but really kind of like when you really want those swells that I'm looking for, or the ones that I could get with a reverb pedal, it's around here, with a volume pedal, it's around here. Here you can get kind of the violent sounds, anything here I don't get. So yeah, the modes are they're not gonna give you different delay modes really, other than just reversing this and giving you variations of the same. Now, when we're looking at dialing this to the left, we're getting a high frequency roll-off, which gives us kind of an analog swoosh, which is cool, and rolling off the low end here for kind of tapey things. So it is a little bit more flexible than you would think at first. None of the other delays on offer have the expression pedal functions, and if you are an ambient kind of and experimental kind of guy, you want control over this stuff, especially the time gives you wibbly wobbly weebly wobbla whatever, and it's also blue, like, you know, that thing that does the wibbly wobbly thing, if you know what I'm talking about. It has stereo through. Let's call it what it is. It is not a stereo pedal, it has stereo through, which means if you're feeding it stereo signals, some of the stereoness got lost on me once the delay was engaged, which is kind of, I don't get that, but whatever. So it doesn't create stereo sounds. But if you have this at the end of your chain and you have some stereo stuff going in, you know, it can do stereo, but it doesn't create stereo. It just lets it through. 430 milliamps or whatever it takes, definitely over 400. That's kind of a little bit of a for me, because you pretty much guaranteed you have to use the supplied, okay, that's cool, power supply. Even my Chox power supplies don't have 400 milliamp output, 500 milliamp outputs. 400 is pretty much like as good as it gets, and those are expensive big ass bricks. So I'm thinking, please Earthquaker, make this a little bit more compatible with most people's power supplies on their boards. 250 is already pushing it. Okay, 300, but that's it. Over 400. Who wants to plug in their board with a beautiful, you know, power supply that they have, and then also a wall wart from Earthquaker? There has to be a way around this. The sounds are absolutely incredible. A Caverns sounds different. I just had them on the table right next to each other. A Caverns cannot do what this does. This cannot do what a Caverns does. This is tappable and has the expression inputs, expression capability, which the Caverns doesn't have. Ethereal, what do I know? The VFE, totally somewhere else. Also, if you had like a Keeley delay workstation, which is reverb and delay in one, it's not really meant for those ambient things. It's just delays and reverbs. So as an inspiring box that creates super lush soundscapes, come the fuck on. Let's see, make it bigger again, because well, we have the space, so let's use the space. Thank you. If you crank up the decay right there, the sound of that reverb is going to make you play forever. Absolutely to die for. Now, $375 in Euro, if that's worth it to you, that's, you have to decide. In that price range, I'm not going to give any thumbs up or thumbs down. This pedal does what it does, and it costs what it costs, so you got to spend the money if you want it. That's it. Okay? I'm not going to bitch about the price, but I'm not going to say it's a bargain, because it isn't. And that's it. And that's me from here saying goodbye. Thanks to Leslie. And also something about animals at the end, which are coming now.
I had to leave you. You said that I